Hello and good morning. It is November 10th, Wednesday, of course. The five stocks that I'm keeping an eye on today, we're going to start with WSGF. Now, if you remember my recap yesterday, I took some of this yesterday at 151. I sold some kind of prematurely at 158, about half of it. I was kind of oversized for my comfort level. The other half I held on to 177 right in this second run actually yesterday, which I sold from my tree stand in the woods. So that's the cool part about trading, right? That's why we all want to get into it, so that we don't have to answer to the man. We can do whatever we want to do when we want to do it. That was a pretty good win yesterday for me. I'm keeping it on watch today, but as you can see, it doesn't really have a very strong history of a second green day, especially after a big one. So I'm not thinking there's going to be a whole lot of strength there. Ideally, what I'd like to see is a morning panic dip buy, probably back down to this 0.013 to 0.0135 level. I think that would be a level of support for it. You can see in the history there's been some support there at 125, and yesterday there was obviously some there in the 1.3s. So that's what I'm looking for out of this one. Now it could possibly surprise me and put in some strength, but I do think that we're going to get a dip. So it could set up for a dip and rip pattern, where it sets a low of the day and then it sets a higher low and then continues upward. So I'll be watching for either of those two setups to come into play with this one. The next stock I wanted to take a peek at was ILUS. So this one, of course, has been on my watch list for a few days. I played it on this wedge break on the daily chart. Today, it's showing a gap up this morning. Now, that doesn't always mean that it's going to be a strong gap up. It's showing one right now, but that could change by market open. Remember that there's such little volatility and volume in pre-market that sometimes it can be misleading. What I'm looking for is a high volumes and high strength push up through 506, where it set its previous high. Now this stock could go either way, so I'm not going to buy right now in anticipation of that breakout. It's been consolidating near its highs, but it hasn't really picked a direction. So it scares me to long this right away, so I would probably actually wait until it's above 50 cents during normal market hours before I would jump into this one. The next one is Cybl. Of course, this has been on my watch list for a little bit too. Still waiting on that wedge break upwards. I think it could happen today, especially if ILUS goes. Cybl is a little bit of a sympathy play to that one. So if ILUS goes, I'm really going to keep an eye on this one to get above that wedge break. You can see it would be somewhere right in the 4.7 area. So that's a lower price play as well. So we're looking at 4.7 cents versus like the 47.50 cent level. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And then the next one is AABB. Now this one set up yesterday very, very well for a dip and rip idea. I was watching it as it set this higher low. I thought this was a higher low here after that volume candle. But then when it dipped back down below 0.2, I kind of stopped watching it, and that's my fault. It turned out to be a perfect dip and rip pattern. If you had bought in after it set the higher low here, then you would be set up pretty good somewhere in the 0.02 the 0.2 to 0.205 area. It ran the rest of the day all the way up to 0.245. So that was a really, really good dip and rip idea. It kind of held its gains decently throughout the day. So I'd be looking for this to set up for something similar again today, possibly a dip and rip idea. So it might not be as strong as this one if it does happen, but it will set a low out of the gate and then set a higher low, and then it kind of sets the direction it's going to head for the rest of the day. The last one I want to take a peek at was Hysr. Now yesterday was a great first green day for this one. It had some fluffy news, but it's a renewable hydrogen energy play though, which is a little bit of a hot sector, and it's talking about how it partnered with a different company in Korea. to pursue that. It's showing a gap down actually this morning, so it might not have as much strength as I was hoping, but there is a multi-day breakout on the table around the 0.092 area. So if we get a nice little push upwards towards that, then it could break through the resistance that was there and continue upwards. So that's what I'm looking for out of HYSR. And remember, hit that like and the subscribe button. We do daily watch list videos just like this one, outlining the stocks that could be in play that day, as well as a daily recap. And I'm going to be honest and transparent with you guys, and I'm going to show you whether I made money or lost money, whatever the case may be. You know, you can't just post your winners and expect people to believe them. Well, a lot of people do, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys get better and help myself get better. Making these videos actually helps me to recap my day, figure out where I went wrong on my losses, and figure out how I can trade better. It also helps me from over trading as I take time out of my day and away from the trading screens to make these videos. So we also have the Trading 101 videos, which is building on the basics of trading. We'll put some new videos up in that playlist very shortly, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys, and best of green days to you.